That's kids. This is Dr. Callahan for week 7 Thursday. How are you guys doing? 2 more days until the weekend, so you guys will get there. Go ahead and pause the video and answer the following questions for your warm up. So yeah, go ahead and pause the video and answer the following 3 questions for your warm up blog. Keep in mind that it is due on week 9 Friday, so that is coming up shortly. And let's go ahead and start your assignment for this for prop and stats. All right, so I'm gonna go to prop and stats and I'm gonna go under assignments. Keep in mind that you need to check in with me and upload your assignment in order to get your other 50% of your grade. If some of your grade is kind of low, one of the reasons that could be is because of the fact that I don't see you guys checking in with me or uploading your assignment. So that's probably one of the reasons why it's kind of low. So our topic of discussion today is going to be on a brand new packet. We're done with correlations and we are now moving on to simple interest. So you should have a new packet. So just keep that in mind. And if you don't, you're welcome to pick up a packet outside of my door because I do have that available there as well in B1. So simple interest, day 1. All right, and then make sure you guys are checking in with me for attendance by 1:19 today for 5th period and by 2:20 for 6th period because attendance has to be taken before the class is over. So if you're kind of checking in later, that's not good because you might be marked absent even though you were here and you checked in, but you just checked in a little bit later. So just make sure you guys do that. All right, so 3 p.m. and assign. All right, let's go back to your lessons today. Your breakdown for today is as follows. So take a look at that. We're going to talk about simple interest day 1. We're going to go over examples 3 and 4. You have a brand new packet. Make sure you turn in the last unit's packet. If not, all of your homework from week 5 and 6, they do become 0. So keep that in mind. And we're going to finish objectives 1 to 3 on page 22. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. You do, however, need to have this paper with you. And if you don't have it, you can go ahead and write it on a separate piece of paper. That's completely fine as well. And we're going to get started with the first page right here. All right, so we're going to calculate simple interest, use your future value formula, and use a simple interest formula on discounted loans. So when it comes to simple interest, the interest is the dollar amount that we get paid for lending money or paying for borrowing money. The amount of money that we deposit or we borrow is going to be called the principal. Your goal in life is to go ahead and pay off the principal because you don't want, that's the amount that you borrow. So if you borrow $1,000 from the bank, you probably have to pay back $11,000. I'm sorry, 1,100 because $100 is probably going to be for the interest. The amount that of interest depends on the principal and the interest rate, which is given as a percentage, varies from bank to bank and the length of the time when the money is deposited. And simple interest involves interest calculated only on the principal. And if you were to calculate the simple interest, the formula is always going to be R represented as a decimal. And it is I equals PRT, where I stands for interest, R is the rate of the interest, and it's in a decimal. So if you're not sure, if you have like 10%, you want to make sure you convert that to a decimal, which is 0.10, okay? And then you have your T, which stands for time, and this is going to be in years. So if you have 6 months, you have to convert that as 6 divided by 12, which is 0.5 years. okay, because there's 6 months in a year. And then, of course, P stands for principal. All right, let's take a look at example 1. For example 1, it says a student took out a simple interest loans for $1,800 for 2 years at a rate of 8% to purchase a car. Find the interest of the loan. So this one is the I-PERT, I equals PRT. So I equals principal. This is your principal. This is your rate. You need to convert it to a decimal. And your T is 2 for 2 years. So let's plug this in. 1,800 times 0.08 times 2. So go ahead and multiply that out. So what is your interest that you have to pay back in addition to the $1,800? $288 in interest. And technically that's how the bank makes money, unfortunately. All right, let's go on to example 2. For example 2, read the question and highlight the important information. It says that Fred made an investment for 5 years at a rate of 6%, ending up in $120 in interest. So the questions are a little bit different because it's giving you different numbers. How much was the investment for? And at the end of the 5 years, what is the future value of his investment? So let's talk about what's given. What's given is that you're given the time, which is 5 years. Your rate is 0.06. Your interest is $120. And your job is to figure out what the principal is. Now, remember that your equation is I-PERT. So I is 120, P, rate is 0.06, T is 5. So first thing what you want to do is you want to multiply the 0.06 and the 5, which gives you a 0.30P. Opposite of a times is a divide. And P is equal to 400. And this is how much you borrowed. How much you borrowed at the bank. All right, so future value principal interest is the future value. A of P dollars is interest as D for decimal and T for years is given by P, which is also known as the loan's present value. So let's take a look at this. For this one, you have A equals P times 1 plus R times T. And that is your formula, okay? So for example, example 3 says for a loan of $1,060 made at a simple interest rate of 6.5% for 3 months, keep in mind it's in months, you gotta convert that to years, find the future loan value. So for this one, let's take a look. Your P is $1,060. Your rate is 0.065. Your T is 3 months, so 3 divided by 12 is going to give you a 0.65. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on a second. 3 divided by 12 is going to give you a 0.25 because it's a quarter of a year. Now that you have this, let's go ahead and plug this in. So you have A is equal to P times 1 plus R times T. And you're going to go ahead and calculate that out. First thing you want to do is you want to multiply this, which gives you a 1 plus. Multiply these two numbers together, you should get a 0.01625. Then you're going to go ahead and add the two numbers together, which is 1.06125. Multiply them together, and you are going to get a $1,077.23. And this is what you guys get back. Take a look at example 4. Okay, let's go ahead and highlight all the important information. You borrowed $2,500 from a friend. You promised pay back $2,655 in 6 months. Notice it's 6 months. What is a simple interest rate that you're going to have to pay? So our goal here is to figure out the interest rate. So once again, A equals P1 plus RT. So what's given to you? Well, the given time is 6 months, so that's going to be 0.5. A is going to be 2,655. Principal is 2,500. Your goal here is to find the interest rate, which is R. So I'm going to give you guys a second for you to go ahead and set up this problem. All right, so let's plug this in. So 2,655 equals 2,500. 1 plus R. R is going to be, I don't know what it is yet. That's what I'm trying to find. T is 0.5. Okay, so with this one, there are several steps that you want to take. First thing you want to do is you want to get rid of the 2,500. So let's go ahead and divide it by that. So you have 1 plus 0.5 R on the right side, and you should have 1.062 on the left side. Next, you're going to subtract the 1 on both sides. Bring down the 0.5 R, which is going to give you a 0.062. Lastly, divide it by the 0.5. And your interest rate is going to be 0.124. You have to convert it to a percentage from a decimal, or 12.4% interest, which is kind of high. So that's not really a really good friend. All right, you guys, we are done with the 4 examples. So next, what I would like you guys to work on is objective numbers 1, 2, and 3 on page 22. So go ahead and calculate this on your own. And there are 3 of them. Okay, and you will use the rest of the time for class to go ahead and do that. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is the one you're going to be using, which is the IPERT. And so if I set this up, I equals 2,000 times 0.07 times 1. Which is going to give you an interest rate of $140. Your interest rate for this one is going to be $11. For number 3, it's a little bit different because it's 2 months. You got to convert that to a year. So 2 divided by 12. Okay. So I equals 400 times 0.07 times 2 divided by 12, which is going to give you a 0.167 in years. If you multiply everything together, your interest is going to be $4.67. Which sounds really low, but then again, you're also using it for only 2 months. Similarly, over here, 120 days out of 185 days of a year is going to give you I equals 15,500 times 0.07 times 120 divided by 185, which is 0.649. And that interest rate, is kind of expensive on this one, is $703.78. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this one here for number 6. Number 6, you're going to use the A equals P times 1 plus RT equation. So A is equal to $160, 1 plus 0.03 times 3. And so your A in this case should be $174.40. For 7, notice that this is out of 6 months. So if I divide it, it is 0.5 years. So your A is going to be 200 times 1 plus 0.07 times 0.5. And so your future value is going to be 207. And just notice that your future value always needs to be bigger than P. And if it's not bigger than P with like how much money you put into it, then it doesn't really make any sense. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 12. For number 12, it says use the following given information to find R. And so your future value equation is P1 plus R times T. So you have 6561.25 equals 5800, 1 plus rate times 21 months out of 12 months. So you have to divide that first, which is 1.75 years. So I'm going to multiply that by 1.75. Divided by 5,800, that's the first thing you should do. You should have 1.1312. Subtract 1 on both sides, you should have a 0.1312. Divided by the 1.75 on both sides, your interest rate is going to be R equals 0.074. Actually, let's just round it up to 5. Or, better yet, 7.5%. Make sure you guys give number 13 a try on your own, following exactly the same step that I have for this one. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful week. As always, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.